If you're trying to decide between the iPhone 16 and the brand new iPhone 17, or maybe you already own the 16 and you're wondering if it's worth upgrading after just 1 year, this is the deep dive you need to watch. There are some surprisingly significant upgrades here that make the 17 one of those rare models where year-over-year jump is actually worth considering. Let's start with the design and display, because this is where your eyes and hands will notice changes immediately. The iPhone 16 came out in 2024 with a familiar 6.1-inch panel, 60Hz refresh rate, and a maximum outdoor brightness of 2000 nits. It looked good, it felt comfortable, and it came with a slightly stronger ceramic shield display, but overall nothing special. The 17 takes that formula and dials everything up. The screen grows to 6.3 inches, the bezels shrink even further, and for the first time on a non-pro device, we get ProMotion with adaptive refresh rate all the way up to 120Hz. Scrolling through Twitter, swiping between apps, or even just moving around the home screen feels drastically smoother than the 16's fixed 60Hz refresh rate. Once you experience it, you will notice the 16 screen shutter every time you pick it back up. Brightness also takes a serious leap. The 16 topped out 2000 nits outdoors, the 17 blasts all the way up to a staggering 3000 nits, making it far easier to read in direct sunlight. Pair that with the new always-on display, another first for a base model iPhone, and you can glance at the time, widgets or notifications without tapping the screen or draining your battery. Apple's new ceramic shield 2 covers the front, promising 3 times the scratch resistance of the 16's glass, which means fewer micro scratches from keys or grit in your pocket. Even if you throw a case on it, that extra durability is a big win. Before we dive deeper, a quick reminder, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe and tap the new hype button. It helps our small channel like mine reach more Apple fans, and it means you won't miss my next comparison or review. Under the hood, the differences aren't as dramatic, but appreciated regardless. The iPhone 16 was no slouch, with the A18 built on TSMC's N3 process, paired with a 5-core GPU, but the iPhone 17 packs the brand new A19 chipset, built on the more advanced N3P nodes. That means better efficiency, cooler operation, and a performance bump across CPU, GPU, and AI activities. The GPU still has 5 cores, but each one now includes a dedicated neural accelerator, and the 16-core neural engine has been upgraded to run on Apple's on-device AI features, what Apple calls Apple Intelligence, faster and with lower power consumption. And I know I just gave you guys a bunch of tech jargon, but essentially what you need to know is that the 17 is faster and it will give you longer updates. Both devices do come with 8 gigs of RAM though. Speakers and mics aren't very different, but here's a comparison anyway. So here's a mic test with the iPhone 17. It should sound pretty similar, but here's how it sounds. And this is iPhone 16 in the same location. So again, let me know how this sounds. Are there any differences? It should sound the same. Battery life benefits hugely from those efficiency gains. The 16 was rated for up to 22 hours of video playback. The 17 stretches that all the way up to 30 hours. That is not a small increase, that is quite significant. However, Apple's test is just running a video on loop, and with a new ProMotion display that can dynamically refresh the display, the 17 managed to eke out more battery life. In real usage, I would say it's about an hour better, so not as big of a leap, but technically better. And when you do need to charge, the 17 does support MagSafe wireless charging for up to 25 watts with a 30-watt adapter or higher, and wired fast charging that can hit 50% in just 20 minutes with a 40-watt adapter. Compare that to the 16's 22-watt MagSafe limit and 30-minute half charge with a 20-watt adapter, and you can start to see how much more convenient the newer model really is. Connectivity is another quiet but important upgrade. The 16 supported Bluetooth 5.3 and standard GPS, the iPhone 17 introduces Apple's new M1 networking chip, unlocking Bluetooth 6, precision dual frequency GPS, and next generation Wi-Fi 7 with lower latency and better range. If you're pairing AirPods, tracking AirTags, or just using Apple Maps in a crowded city, these improvements mean faster connections and more accurate location data. Now let's move on to the camera, because this is where a lot of the everyday magic happens. Both share the same main sensor, but the 16 ships with a 12 megapixel front-facing camera and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide on the back. They're pretty solid results, however the 17 overhauls both these sensors in a massive way. On the front you get an 18 megapixel sensor with a square layout that allows you to tap to zoom and even rotate the view for landscape selfies without turning the phone. It also supports center stage to keep you perfectly framed during video calls, and introduces ultra stabilized video that smooths out shaky handheld shots. If you shoot a lot of vlogs or TikToks, this is a big upgrade. On the back, the ultra-wide jumps from 12 megapixels to 48 megapixels, enabling more detailed landscape shots, sharper night mode photos. Apple has also added dual capture, letting you record from the front and rear camera at the same time in up to 4K Dolby Vision at 30 FPS. It's a kind of feature you don't think about until you start using it, ideal for reactions, interviews, or behind the scene content. The rest of the hardware shows smaller but still meaningful refinements. Both phones support MagSafe accessories and have an IP68 water resistant rating. The 17 however benefits from the tougher ceramic shell too, and a slightly narrower profile thanks to the thinner bezels. Colors have been refreshed as well. The 16 launched in ultramarine, teal, pink, white and black. The 17 replaces those with lavender, sage, mist blue, white and black. I will say I did prefer the punchier colours with the 16, but the new shades are pretty nice as well. Storage and pricing are another key factor. The iPhone 16 originally debuted at $799 for 128 gigs in the US. The 17 bumps up base storage while keeping the price the same. Obviously now that the iPhone 16 has dropped to $699, that means if you buy a 256 gig iPhone 16, it's going to be the same price as the 17, which is why Apple doesn't let you buy that configuration. Considering getting a larger 120Hz panel, vastly improved cameras, a much stronger battery, and a more powerful chipset, the extra $100 for the 17 is frankly a bargain. If you're buying new today and debating between a discounted 16 and a 17, the 17 wins every single time. You'd be spending nearly the same money for a phone that's going to feel faster, look more modern, and stay supported for longer. Now what about those who already own the iPhone 16? Normally I'd say skip a single year upgrade, but this is one of those rare cycles where you can actually justify going from a 16 to a 17 if the budget allows. The jump to ProMotion alone transforms how the phone feels every single time you touch it. Add in the longer battery life, the brighter screen, the stronger glass, the better front and ultra-wide cameras, and it really does start to feel like a generational leap forward instead of a minor tweak. If you rely on your phone for work or you simply want the smoothest experience Apple offers without paying pro prices, this is the first time in a long time that a year-to-year upgrade makes sense. That said, if the 16 still works for you and you're fine with a lack of promotion, then by all means keep using it. Apple will still support the 16 with iOS updates for years, and it remains a very capable device. It runs Apple Intelligence. You can absolutely keep using it for another 2 years or even 3 years without feeling left behind. But if you've been eyeing smoother scrolling and brighter outdoor visibility, the 17 is the phone that delivers them all in one package. Ultimately, the choice comes down to budget and priorities. If you're buying today, spend the extra $100 and go straight for the 17. You get double the base storage, a brighter and smoother screen, better cameras, faster charging, and a battery that's going to outlast the outgoing model. I know refurbished 16s do exist, which can be found for much less than they retail for new, but generally I think if you're debating between the two, you are better off spending the extra on the 17. If you already own the 16, treat yourself to the 17 only if those upgrades align with how you use your phone every day. Otherwise hold tight, but know that for once, you wouldn't be crazy to make the jump after just a single year. That's my full breakdown of the iPhone 16 versus the iPhone 17. Would you buy the iPhone 16 or 17? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a 16, are you going to be upgrading right away or holding on to your current device? Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe and smash the hype button. It helps a small channel like mine more than you can ever imagine and keeps you in the loop for all the latest Apple deep dives. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.